Class, in this video, we will talk about this topic, triangle angle side relation. What is this? Do not fret. This is very easy, very simple to understand, and you don't need much effort for this. Now let's proceed with the example. So in any triangle, say this one, the longest side is opposite the largest angle, the shortest side is opposite the smallest angle, and the mid-size side is opposite the mid-size angle. So that's it, as simple as that. That's the relationship. Now let's go with our example. So how about this? How do we arrange this in decreasing order? So when you say decreasing, that means from the longest side to the shortest. So we will just use ruler. Why not? But if you don't have, how? So we have here the given angles. So how do we use that to arrange the sides? Very simple. You don't need to fret. You don't need to worry. Just listen and just go with the video. No? So we will have first to arrange the angles. So angle E here, right here is 85 degrees, the greatest angle. The mid size is 57 degrees, angle V, and the smallest angle is angle A, right? Right? Of course, you are right. Now, how do we arrange now the sides? So again, if you remember, the opposites of this happens to be also the longest, the mid-size, and the shortest sides. Now, what is the opposite of angle E? So if you don't know yet, angle E right here, so opposite right here, opposite to that, fronting this angle, what's that side? That's AV. As simple as that. So AV. Now, what's fronting angle V? What's opposite that? It's side AE. And of course, right here, we have side VE opposite of angle A. Or there is a shortcut here. Are you ready? Of course. So simple. If this is E, what are the missing letters? So the triangle is EVA. So the missing letters are V and A. So that means opposite angle E is side AV or side VA. As easy as that, right? So angle V, opposite that is side AE. The missing letters, AE or EA, doesn't matter. And for angle E, the opposite of that is side VE or EV. However you arrange it for as long as it's V and E, right? So as simple as that. So you don't need to look at the figure. Just look for the missing letters. So we have now correctly arranged the sides in decreasing order. You can also pause this video, use your ruler to really prove that AV is really the longest side if you want to. Now let's proceed with the second sample. Are you ready? Of course you are ready. So right here, oh no, we only have two angles. How do we know which one is which? We are not sure of the third one. Well, we can use protractor, but there's no need to do that because if you are familiar with this symbol, this is the symbol for right angle. Yes, right angle. So what is right angle? Right angle is simply 90 degrees in measurement. In other words, this is 90 degrees here, angle wide. So from here, we can now arrange in decreasing order the angles. So this triangle YOU, by the way, so angle Y will be greater than O since this is 90, this is 70, this is 20 according to the figure, right? And of course, just look for the missing letters. What's the missing letter of Y? It's OU. For O, it's YU, and for U, it's YO, right? So as simple as that, class. That is just how we arrange the sides in decreasing order. We are done here. No more questions, right? As easy as that, hopefully. Okay, by the way, this also explains why the hypotenuse is the longest side in a right triangle. What is hypotenuse, by the way? So hypotenuse is the one opposite the right angle. So if this is 90, it will always follow that these two, the sum of these two is 90 because in the triangle, if you add the three measurements, that's 180. So this is already 90. That means these two needs to be 90 also if you add the two. So none of these two can be 90, but they can only be less than 90. That means this is the greatest angle 90, and this two will always be lesser than 90. So happens to be the hypotenuse or the opposite of 90, and it will always be the longest side. Oh no, so how do we do this? We don't have angles. Use protractor, right? Again, you don't know that. You don't rather need that. So let's just use the sides. So let's do the other way around, increasing order. So from the smallest angle to the largest angle. So we have the shortest side HY followed by WY and WH, the longest side. So as simple as that, what's the missing letter? W. What's the missing letter? H. What's the missing letter? Y. So these are the opposite of the sides. So angle W. If you look at the figure, yeah, it confirms that these are the opposite pairs. So that's it. As simple as that. That's your increasing order of the angles. Last but not the least, you can pause this video, class. Now you can answer on your own. So again, decreasing, that means from the largest angle to the smallest angle. So we know that the sides are arranged in this manner in decreasing order. GZ here, the longest rather, ZU is the mid-size, and GU is the shortest. So from here, what's the missing letter? U. Here G and here is Z. So as simple as that, class, we have already arranged the angles in decreasing order. And right here we have an example here, a real life example. I use Google Earth here. How do you do this? Maybe you can search this in the Google Earth, or this one, or this, and you can use the feature where you can measure the anywhere. You can measure anywhere. So if you find this, you can confirm that these are the measurements. By the way, no, I accidentally chose a right triangle. By the way, I did not really know that it is 90 degrees. Anyway, so this is 50, 40, and 90. So the question now, will the relationship be true in real life, or is it really just here in books or in videos? Now let's ask Google Earth. So upon using Google Earth, these are the measurements. So on this side is 172, on this is 277, and right here is 216. So clearly the relationship is true in real life. That means any triangle you see around you is really having that angle side relationship. So 90 degrees being the largest, opposite to that will be the longest side, and it is true. And yeah, the shortest side is here. It happens to be the opposite of 40, and the mid-size pairs are also having that relationship. So again, that would be a real life example of this topic and many more. So this is the summary again for the relationships, and thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.